People today are always thinking about getting rich quick, but they don't understand the essence of wealth. You all think investing is a game about making money, but you're wrong, terribly wrong. Investing is first and foremost a test of human nature. In my world, you don't need to be a genius. You just need to be slightly less foolish than others to be far ahead. And most people's foolishness stems from a simple yet extremely powerful instinct, the fear of loss. Let me put it more clearly. The pain of losing $100 is far stronger than the pleasure of gaining $100. This isn't my opinion. It's a conclusion reached by psychologists, but I've witnessed it all my life. This loss aversion, ingrained in our genes, is like a built-in devil, constantly tempting you to make the most foolish mistakes. So what do you see? You see the market teeming with two types of fools. The first is the coward who holds a winning hand, but is eager to throw it away as soon as they won a little money. They buy into a good company. The stock rises 20% and they get itchy, thinking taking profits is the only truth. They're afraid the market will crash tomorrow and swallow their small profits. They sell and then watch the company's stock increase tenfold over the next 10 years. At this point, they can only slap their thigh and complain to the bartender about what they missed. Isn't that ridiculous? To avoid the minor pain of a slight pullback, you gave up a mountain of gold. This is a classic case of picking up sesame seeds and losing a watermelon. Another type of fool is even more tragic. He holds a terrible hand, yet refuses to let go. The company he bought has terrible fundamentals, and the stock price is plummeting, but he doesn't sell. Why? Because selling would be like printing a blood red number on his trading record, the personal admission of "I was wrong." Admitting to being a fool is more painful than losing money itself. So he prefers to deceive himself, telling himself it's only temporary. The company will get better. A miracle will happen. He treats hope as strategy and the prayer as analysis. And the result? A small wound can fester into cancer, and a small loss can grow into a massive black hole capable of destroying an entire asset. These two behaviors, seemingly opposite, one eager to sell for profit, the other refusing to sell for loss, stem from the same root. Both are controlled by this inner demon. Their decisions are based not on the company's future value, but on their past purchase price and current profit loss figures. This is the most foolish and widespread mental trap I've ever seen. You must etch the term sunk cost into your minds. Past investments of money, time, and emotions, once irrecoverable, are worthless, a ghost, noise. Your sole basis for decision-making should be looking to the future from today's perspective. Is this asset worth continuing to hold? It's that simple. Whether you bought it for $100 or $200 has absolutely nothing to do with whether you should sell it now. If you wouldn't buy this stock at the current price today, why would you continue holding it? Therefore, the first and most important lesson you need to learn is stop loss. Don't misunderstand. The stop loss I'm talking about isn't the mechanical operation that traders talk about, automatically selling when the price drops by 10%. That's lazy thinking. The stop loss I'm talking about is a mental discipline, a courage to face reality. Its core is when your initial reason for buying disappears, whether you're making a profit or a loss, you must decisively exit the market. Let me give you an example. You buy a boat because you believe it will take you to a bountiful island. During the voyage, you discover a hole in the hull that you can't repair. It will only get bigger. What do? A rational person would immediately look for a lifeboat and abandon the doomed ship, even if they've spent all their savings on it. A kidnapped fool, however, would curse the hole while bailing water out with a bucket, praying the boat will drift to shore on its own. It can't. Which one do you think will survive? Investing is similar. You buy a company perhaps because it has unique technology, excellent management, or is in a high-growth industry. But later, you find that the company's technology has been surpassed, the management has become corrupt and incompetent, and the industry has reversed. At this point, your reasons for buying it disappear, and the ship has a gaping hole in its hull. At this moment, your only correct choice is to sell it immediately. Whether you sell at a higher or lower price than you bought it is irrelevant. What matters is that you avoid the fate of sinking to the bottom of the sea with this wrecked ship. Admitting your mistakes takes extraordinary courage. Human nature inherently dislikes admitting errors. Our brains automatically fabricate various reasons to defend ourselves. It's a psychological defense mechanism. But if you want to survive in the cruel game of investing, you must learn to be ruthless with your mistakes. I've seen too many intelligent people in my life, people with extremely high IQs, who have failed miserably because they couldn't admit their mistakes. They valued their pride more than their wealth, and that was fatal. In my view, true wisdom and strength lie in being able to honestly say, I messed up and I need to start over. A large part of our family's wealth came from promptly selling off things we initially misjudged. Yes, I make mistakes. Warren makes mistakes. We all make mistakes. The key isn't avoiding mistakes, but how you deal with them afterward. Do you bury your head in the sand like an ostrich, or do you calmly surgically remove the lesion like a surgeon? Conversely, when you truly hold an ace in your hand, you need the same discipline to overcome another inner demon, complacency. Many people are inherently risk-averse. They'd rather have a certain, albeit small, gain than pursue an uncertain, but potentially enormous, reward. This is why they rush out of a great company's stock as soon as it begins to rise. Their mentality is like a gambler who, after winning a few small hands at the poker table, wants to pocket the money and leave immediately, fearing they'll lose it all in the next round. True wealth is never accumulated through this hit-and-run strategy. True wealth comes from finding a few truly great companies and then, like a fool, holding on to them for decades, letting compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world, work for you. What does this require? It requires a profound insight into the company's future value-creating ability, and even more so, an iron will to endure short-term market fluctuations and ignore the daily buzzing noise in your ears. When you own a company like Coca-Cola, its products are consumed worldwide, its brand value is unbreakable, and its business model is simple and easy to understand. What you should be doing isn't guessing whether next quarter's financial report will be good or bad, or whether tomorrow's stock price will rise or fall. What you should be doing is brewing a cup of tea, picking up a book, sitting quietly, letting the company's excellent employees and powerful systems make money for you. This sounds boring, right? The process of accumulating wealth is inherently boring. Those who seek thrills and excitement often end up giving their money to those of us who understand the value of boredom. Let profits run, cut losses. This sounds simple, but it goes against human nature. It requires you to remain calm in pain and greedy in pleasure. This requires training yourself into a mental ascetic, freeing yourself from the control of emotions and relying solely on reason and objective analysis. I made many mistakes when I was young. I suffered heavy losses due to overconfidence and missed opportunities due to fear. But I have one strength. I never want to fall twice in the same place. I'll write down every stupid mistake I make, dissect it like a frog, and study it repeatedly until I completely understand how my brain short-circuited. That's learning. You can't expect to learn much from success, because success often involves an element of luck. But failure, especially painful failure, is the best teacher. It will relentlessly tear away your ignorance and arrogance, forcing you to seek the truth. So, don't be afraid of losses. Losses are part of the game. If you can't withstand a 50% drop in the book value of your assets without flinching, then you're simply not suited for this market. You should be putting your money in the bank to earn that meager interest. I've personally experienced my assets being halved several times, and it's certainly a painful feeling. But so what? As long as you're certain the intrinsic value of the companies you hold hasn't been damaged, then market panic is your best friend. It gives you the opportunity to buy more high-quality assets at cheap prices. This principle doesn't just apply to investing. It's wisdom for life. Think about it. Isn't life also a journey about stopping losses and letting profits run? You will meet many people and start many things in your life. Some people and things are like the bad assets you've bought. You invest a lot of time and emotion, but you slowly realize that this relationship, this business, has no hope. It only keeps draining you, making you increasingly miserable. What do you do then? Most people's reaction is to continue investing because they can't bear to lose the sunk costs they've already incurred. They feel, I've persisted for so long, it would be such a waste to give up now. What a foolish idea. The longer you persist in a relationship destined to fail, the greater your losses will be. The longer you stay in a job you hate, the more life you waste.